You're watching the Power Breakfast Show, and as you know, every Monday we talk matters sports here on the Power Breakfast Show. It's not any different this Monday as we're speaking about basketball. And I will allow the man who knows them best, Wahiga Mwaura, to introduce us to our guest this morning. Wahiga?
Good morning, Kirigo.
Good morning, Wahiga.
Good to see you.
Good to see you as well.
Right, we've got some interesting guests in studio today. We're joined by a man who calls himself a trainer of the pros.
Okay.
His name is Ali Samabali. He's here all the way from the United States. I believe he dabbled in basketball at some point in his life, and he'll tell us a bit more about that. And next to him is the African director of Beyond Sports. The reason why these gentlemen are both here today, Mr. Juma Abdallah Kent. They have a big event today at 10 o'clock. They are beginning the rehabilitation process of one of the most famous basketball courts in Kenya. And so we need to get the interview done with, so that you guys can head over there for an event that we're all looking forward to. But let's start with you, Ali, and by asking you, who is Ali Samabali? I've tried to give a bit of an intro, but of course you're the best man to tell us about yourself.
Yeah. Who's Ali Samabali? Ali Samabali is a kid who was born in Africa, Congo DRC, mother from Congo, father from Mali. Through basketball, I ended up in France and France to the United States on scholarship to play basketball. But I'm just a people person, you know. I'm an African child, you know. So that's who Ali Samabali is. I'm the founder and CEO of Beyond Sports, and that's my story.
Right.
All right. Sorry, Wahiga, go ahead.
Yeah, tell us how easy or how hard is it for someone who has no name to rise up in the ranks of basketball in the United States? I'm asking that because in Kenya right now, the perennial question is lots and lots of talent, but no ladder, you know, no path to follow you know, to get to the top.
You know, in the United States, there's a plan, right? You can go from middle school to high school to the university, from the university to the pros, right? There's a plan you can follow. But for me, it seems like in Africa, there's not really a plan, right? The kids playing, a lot of talent, but there's no really a direction who they can look up to. In the state, we look up for players such as Kobe Bryant, LeBron James. When you see them, you want to be like them.
Have you ever played with any of them?
I play with LeBron James. We play in the same team, same high school. I play with many others, Tony Parker, Joakim Noah, many other players. And that's only the biggest difference, you know. Other than that, it's just lack of material, good tools to be able to learn the game early instead of in the U.S., you pick up the basketball at 2 years old, right? Here in Africa, maybe the first time you ever pick up a basketball, it might be 10, 11, 12, or 13, or 14. But still, some players make it to the NBA, right? But imagine now if they was picking up the basketball when they was 2, 3 years old, you know.
Do you think the reason why we don't pick up the ball much earlier is because there's not much incentive, quote unquote? Looking at the NBA, it's a flashy sport. Yeah, let's agree, it's a flashy sport. LeBron James, you know, Kobe Bryant, they're making millions and millions of dollars from this sport. When we come back to Africa, really, you're telling me to pick up a ball, I'm not too sure whether it's going to bring me any money.
Yes, it's a way of life, right? It's a way of making a living in the United States, right? But you're absolutely right. In Africa, there's not really any strong incentive, right? In the United States, even if you're not looking at the NBA, you're looking at the NCAA. If I work hard, if I play really well, I can get a scholarship, right? And the scholarship, I can get a degree, and the degree, I can get a job, you know? So there's a plan, there's a reason to really, really get serious with basketball. In Africa, on the other side, there's a lot of talent, a lot of raw talent, a lot, right? The reason why I come back to Africa, one of the reasons, is because I knew there was a lack of facilities. Right? Just an outdoor facility where kids can pick up a ball and go to a beautiful facility, just like we have in the United States. Right? I wanted to give the kids an incentive to be able to look at that court and say, wow, this is nice. Who did that? And they found my story. I've never played in the NBA, but I used sports. Being born in Africa, I used sports to further my education, which helped me to be able to create this company called Beyond Sports. Now a kid who's here can also look at that. But the only trick part is like, I'm not allowing kids to just come and play on the Beyond Sport court. You have to go to school, right? If you don't go to school, there's no way I can even help you. Even if you have a dream to go to the NCAA, they're gonna ask you, what school you go to, what you grade in school. You say, no, I don't go to school. Well, even if you top you're tall, they can't really help you. So for me, academics is so important.
Wow.
Ohiga, sorry, just allow me to ask this question. Why Kenya, seeing as you're from Congo and Mali?
Yeah.
Why Kenya?
You know what? This is such a great question because in college, right? In college, I had a lot of Kenyan friends. But it seems like every single one of them, great people, smart, very focused, you know, funny, you know, because I love to laugh a lot, right? So when I was creating this company 7 years ago, in terms of strategy, right? Which country in Africa I can start beyond sport to be able to spread it all over Africa? Because Kenya is just a starting point. We want to do great things in Kenya, then from Kenya we can grow to the rest. And I was thinking in terms of tourism, when people come to Africa, where do they land first? They land in Nairobi, Jomo Kenyatta Airport, and then they go to the rest, right? And it's just Kenya, there's so much here. You know, there's so much to pretty much do anything you want, anything you can think in your mind, you can make it happen.
Well, your country folk will be really disappointed because they're like, instead of him coming to help us, he's decided to go to another country and help them.
You know, that's the thing, right? It's not about me.
Not that they're complaining.
No.
I
get your point, but it's not about an individual, right? It's not about Kenya, it's not about Mali, it's not about Congo. It's all about Africa. You know,
Okay.
I'm an African child.
That's a
you
smart
know,
answer.
The thing that the Kenyan kids have, I want the Mali kid to have, but you gotta start somewhere.
Okay, true.
Right.
All right.
Good. Well, of course, we actually do have some pictures. For those of you who think that Ali is not telling you the truth, that he's not played with these stars, we actually have some pictures to prove that. And my director can tell me when. Okay, so what's happening here? I see some kids with some, is it Beyond jerseys? Where was this? What was happening here?
This we did, we've been in Kenya for over 5 years, just doing camps all over the country. The reason why I wanted to restore trust among kids and our brand. And because a lot of time when you don't have trust, it's very hard. And this right here was a railway club. We did a camp, there was over 700 kids.
We actually do have some more pictures if my director can move on to the next. Is this the same function?
That's same function. You know, what I try to do, I'll try to make sure that every kid is treated the same. We're not just focusing on boys, we're not just focusing on girls. It's every kid's coming. And our main focus is not to create professional basketball players. It's to create a complete human being, right? Those kids, some of them, they're going to end up being engineers. Some of them, you know, right there.
And what's the age group? How young should I be, or how?
You can be as young as you can pick up a basketball or soccer, and you can be as old as 25 years old, because this sport, that's one thing I wanted to say. In Africa, sometimes we think, the misconception is that sports, to make it in sport, you gotta play, right? But the sport business is so much. You need a manager, you need a director, you need a coach, you need a trainer. There's so much aspect of it. Other than that, the game cannot run without the people behind it, right? So when you see a kid here, they say, well, I'm not tall, I'm skinny, I love sports, but I can't play. No, you can be part of the game doing something else.
Behind the scenes.
Behind the scenes.
Even more money. This is in a different setting. Is that a football pitch?
Yeah, this is a soccer. The soccer right there. What's up? Basically, beyond sports, it's about every sport. But we gotta start somewhere, right? Basketball and soccer, eventually grow to the rest. Because sport is such a strong passion and love for kids here. In the United States, you cannot play sports if you don't go to school, right? You can't play. But so kids, I'm like, okay, I want to play basketball in that team, but in order for me to play, I gotta go to school, right? So here, you can play anytime, there's no anything. So for me, beyond sport, you gotta go to school in order for you to,
it's one of the
access. Yes.
That you've set up. Let's take a look at some of the other pictures real quick. Who are those?
These are some of my clients in the States. That's my gym in the States. I'm
you own a gym? Okay.
Yeah, I own a personal training gym to train a lot of NCAA players and NFL players and some of the NBA players.
Next time you're here, we have a gym session every Tuesday.
Every Tuesday.
Let's do it.
Next time you're back, Kent, bring him in. Take us through a training session. So let's talk about the players that are there, because some should stand out for us who follow the.
Some of them should.
Tell me who's who there.
This is one of my high school picture. There's LeBron James is on there. There's everybody know who LeBron James is. There's Maverick Carter, who's LeBron James' manager and business CEO for his marketing company.
Oh, okay.
And there is Sean Cotton, is now a singer, a rapper. Maybe one day I'll bring him in Kenya. He's a big
And
star.
you bring him to the Power Breakfast Show.
Right.
Yeah.
And there's Drew Joyce and Romeo Travis. All, I don't know if you guys saw the documentary, the LeBron James documentary.
Yeah, yeah.
He's talking about his 5 friends. They're all on there.
Wow. Okay.
Are you part of the 5?
I'm not part of the 5
Okay.
because he grew up with them, you know.
Okay.
I met him a little bit later on in life,
yeah,
you know,
yeah.
so.
Let's take a look at a few of the other pictures real quick.
Yeah, this is just an NFL player who playing a professional American football. I train him.
Okay. Okay.
So why did you stop playing and start training? What was behind the motivation?
The motivation, because I'm a type of person, I like to be in control of my future. I don't like somebody else to decide my fate, right? I want to know that I'm in control. If I wake up in the morning, if I have to wake up at 4 in the morning and work all the way to next morning with no sleep, I want to be able to do it. But in sport, for me, my personal situation, it was that I got into a situation where I was better than a lot of players, but because of the politics, some players, they was playing in front of me, right? And I realized, I'm like, okay, I'm not 7 foot tall, right? And some players, they were just better. LeBron James was just better, right? In our team, he was the number 1, I was number 2. I just decided I can be involved in sports in a different way where I can have a longer career.
Okay.
Instead of 5, 10 years, I can
now.
train until I'm 70 years old if I want to. And I wanted to have the freedom to be able to create beyond sport, to travel.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right. Let's switch the focus now, and Kent, maybe you can walk us in on this. Basketball in Kenya.
Yes.
Soya Awards took place on Friday. I don't think I saw any basketball categories or any basketball nominations. That tells me that either it was a very bad year or it's been a bad season for basketball in Kenya. Maybe walk us through the current situation, because all other sports, or several other sports, seem to be doing quite well, but basketball isn't here.
Yeah, that's true. And of late, our basketball has gone down, or I can say has been stagnant.
Oh my goodness. Okay.
Because, like our neighbors Uganda, last year they beat us in high school games, the East Africa. They beat the university team. They beat our clubs, that is USIU, who are the league champs. They beat our national team.
Don't tell too much. Ali might go to Uganda next time he comes here.
So
Stay in Kenya.
what we decided to do is, we thought the problem was to have facilities, because very few teams have their own clubs. The few ones to play, they have to go to a club to pay. So if these players, these kids cannot raise money for food, then you tell them to pay. So we thought, let's start by the facilities, like the courts, the basketballs. Then we want to change the motive, where our players always want to go to US. We want the Americans to come here
And train.
and train us here, play with us here, see what type of life does a Kenyan kid go through in life,
Wow.
to make it better and motivate them.
Let me ask you something, sir. How big is the interest or the awareness of basketball in Kenya? We know, from a very young age, even when you're in the estates, the number of children who play soccer, football is quite high. The number of kids who then do track running, because it is part and parcel of a curriculum when it's time to play sports. How about basketball? Is there a big interest in it, or is it something that maybe we're trying to force onto our young children, and they're like, we're not here for that?
Okay. Basketball is big, and like just Ali said, sport is how you package it.
Yeah.
Because when you're young, everybody will play football, a boy, a girl. But how you package the sport to that kid is what will attract these kids to come to that game. They like NBA, but you find them not like the local league, because nobody has given them that chance. Some of them have never been to Nyayo or even Kasarani. They just see it from outside. So it's an opportunity and an incentive you give them. We have role model players that these kids look up to, but they don't get time and chance to talk to them. So that's what we are trying to do. And you see, like now in universities, all universities have a basketball team.
That's right.
For them to get advertised. High schools have started giving scholarships, like Upper Hill, Maseno, through UNICEF. So it's something that is growing. We're also planning to see how we can partner with the Ministry of Education to start basketball in primary level. When we get the coaches in the areas where they stay, then they come untrained, because it's easier to train the coaches to go and train the kids than us going to all the counties out.
Yes.
So we package it that way, and the kids will get incentives to come and play and train.
I actually want to join in this conversation. I think basketball is a huge sleeping giant in Kenya. using the excuse of soccer isn't right. Let's talk about rugby, for example. Collins Injera, Humphrey Kayange. I think Humphrey Kayange had tried basketball. I'm not quite sure about that.
Not tried. He played.
He played basketball. And Collins played soccer. But the packaging of rugby just simply drew them into the sport, and now look at what they're doing for our country, both locally and internationally. So the packaging is everything for me. And I dare say the basketball stakeholders need to, the hypothetical pull up their socks. That needs to happen a long time ago, with the support of course, players from outside like Ali.
The packaging, as you said, is very important to draw people to come into this thing and fall in love with it. And one way we can talk about, you know, packaging is corporates coming on board to really boost your image, right? So why, one, isn't that happening? Why aren't we seeing so many sponsors or corporates coming in and saying, you know what, let me support Ken's team for the next 5 years?
If I can answer to that, you know, in the U.S., for example, if you tell the U.S. economy, say there's no more sport, it's illegal. From now on, nobody cannot play sport. Literally, the economy of the whole country is going to go down because of sports. It's a business, right? One day you guys can come with me to the States. I'm going to take you to the NBA game.
We're going to hold you to that.
Yeah, I just want to
come with me. You come, if you're in the United States, you tell me to call out.
There are two other guys, there's Roburu and Mutegi Njau. So 4 tickets.
4 tickets. I will give you the experience. You sit in there, you realize that you're not watching the game. It's an event. It's an experience. From the time you come at the door, you pay your ticket, they treat you like a VIP, right? Entertainment, there's t-shirt, there's food, there's music, there's games. So you're not paying for the game because the game itself is short. It's not long, right? But the whole experience, people go to the game dressed nice, to an NBA game or NFL game dressed nice because it's an event, right? You're selling an experience. Then after that, the kids are inspired because there's picture of LeBron James on TV, on a magazine, on posters, right? They go home with posters or cards. LeBron go to different cities, sign an autograph and everything. So the kids, when he's 5 years old, they see a LeBron James walk outside. He's like, oh my God, right? But here, I went to Nyayo Stadium. There was a game. I walk in, nice stadium. I walked in, it was completely dead.
Totally.
Right?
Been there.
So why would I take my money as a sponsor to sponsor the event, right? So part of Beyond Sport, what I want to bring in Kenya is to bring the experience into the game, right? Because there's a formula. It's not just like, oh, Ali said you got to do entertainment and you got to... There's a formula to it, how to do it. For the time the person come at the door to the time they leave, they want to come back again and again.
So in short, we're saying it's a swag factor we're trying to bring into basketball that we will bring as you know, now corporates to sponsor, because there needs to be the funky, cool.
And volleyball seems to have discovered a little bit about that, especially the women's team. When you go to Kasarani when they're playing, oh my goodness, it's totally packed. Let's talk about the function that you have today. They say talk is cheap. We want to see what you're doing as Beyond Sports, and you have something that's happening later today.
You know what's happening today? We're having the groundbreaking of our facility, and trust me, it took us about 5 years to raise the money. I've been in Kenya over 5 years doing many tournaments all over the country, knocking on sponsors' doors. You know, this is what I'm doing. My name is Ali. This is what I'm doing. I want to build a facility. You guys want to jump on board? The answer seems to get back. It was like, okay, let's see what you can do first in order for us we can back you up, which I completely understand, right?
I'm not going to put my money in something I don't know.
Which I completely understand, right? Because I'm sure some people have been talking, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, nobody really show up. I didn't take that personal. I'm the type of person when I put my mind into something, and I know I'm not doing it for me to make money, to be rich. I'm doing it for the kids, because I used to be one of those kids in the Congo DRC, right? If somebody would have just said, like, you went to a sponsor to tell them, like, we're not ready for you right now, show us, and that person would get discouraged and go away, maybe I would have never get an opportunity, right? So me, when they told me that, I took that as a, okay, there's a chance we can work together. You just want me to show you what I can do.
Where's the event happening, and what's
the Railway Club is happening. This is just a simple groundbreaking for us to start. You know, this facility is going to be a state-of-the-art facility. It is going to be one of the best facilities in East Africa, if it's not in Africa. I'll put a lot of money into it, because to me, I want to restore the pride in kids. When the kids see that court, they say, you know what? somebody care enough to do that for us. But the trick is like if you don't go to school, you can look at it from outside, but you're not going to get in.
So you have all the approvals you need?
Yes.
Paint us a picture, I mean. Paint us a picture. At the end of the day, what do you expect to see? At the Railway Club, just here near next to the CBD? Okay.
What I'm expecting to see really for today's event, I expect to get some, because if you have something great going on, if nobody knows about it, it really doesn't matter.
Yeah.
And I just want people to understand, like, at least I'm a Bali, I'm in this country, just to help the Kenyan kids so they can also be an example to the rest of Africa. We can grow together, you know. And we're having the official opening. We want to open the grand opening in April. You know, it's going to take us about 2.5 months to build it. Everything is ready.
2.5 months to build it.
Yeah, to build it. Everything is ready to go. I'm inviting you guys to come check it out, the grand opening.
Okay.
But this is going to be a great event for the kids of Kenya and a major milestone for Beyond Sports. And then encourage the sponsors to give us a chance so we can show them what we can do. If we don't do a good job, they can always stop supporting us.
That's right. I've been to Railway, so are you working on the main court? Or are you going to do that?
Everything.
Changing rooms,
Everything.
What's
We're doing the main court to the way that when the kids step on it, we're paying attention to the knees, to the ankle, to the back pain, right? A kid, when he dives on the floor, the knee is not going to be all bleeding.
Okay.
When they're sitting, right? When they're sitting, to wait for next game, there's cover over their head because it's sunny.
Yeah.
When the girls want to change for a game, there's a changing room where you can go change.
Is this what we're talking about?
That's what we're talking about.
Okay, I don't know what I'm going to do. Maybe I'm going to show.
Maybe we can start with the first picture
Let's
first.
start with the first picture, okay.
This is what kids have to do right now when it rains. Okay? How can you motivate a kid, say, go hard, work hard, go to school, and then you can come play there, right?
Oh, yeah.
It's pretty tough. I believe if we change the environment, then you're going to start inspiring the kids. It's about empowering the kids, right? Then you go from there. We want to switch the picture. We want to turn the picture into this, right? Okay. So now you having a kid.
So like have 3 courts, yeah?
3 courts, yep. 3 courts, bleachers all over, one cover, changing room. You know, offices, we're going to have an office in there. So if the sponsor, they want to meet with us, we have an office. You know, the court is going to be well done. State of the art. We're going to have programming around it so kids, they can use it every day. We're going to have basketballs there. Kids come in, they show us a card. We have a Beyond Sport pledge card. They show us. We give them a basketball. They play. When they're ready to go home, they give the basketball back, they go home. So
the only criteria or the only thing I need to do to be able to be part and parcel of Beyond Sports is be in school. Be in school because I'm creating a family. I like to say Beyond Sport, we are a global family. I want a kid, they get a chance to go to France, for example, they're walking outside, they see somebody with a Beyond Sport t-shirt. It's like, where'd you get that? You know, oh, I got it. Where'd you go? Kenya, camp, Congo? Oh, yeah. Exchange telephone number and start talking. I'm creating this global family, okay? So the requirement, yes, just as basic as that sound, you guys are very smart, right? How did you get here? Education, right? Without an education, I don't think we would be sitting here.
Somebody's laughing behind the camera. We actually went to school.
Right?
On a lighter note.
So, yeah, that's pretty much the only requirement.
All right. Is it going to be free?
Oh, yeah. For the kids, every kid who's part of Beyond Sport is going to be completely free, no charge. If I ever hear one day that one of our kids got charged money to get in a facility, it's not going to be good. It's not going to be good.
Finally, I think we've seen many good initiatives coming to Kenya, but the problem is, you know, the person coming in doesn't find a way to work with a local organizing body.
Exactly.
And then they're either frustrated, you hear claims of extortion and so forth. How are you going to go around? And to add on to what he's just asked, the issue of sustainability.
Yes.
You're saying it's a venue that's free. That means you're going to be going back into your own pocket until, you know, the sponsors come in. For how long can you do that? So
let me tell you, I'm so glad you talk about that, because when I created Beyond Sports 7 years ago, I was looking at Africa from outside. What can I do? Do I need to come in as an NGO right away and rely on government donation where everybody's fighting for those? What about if 1 year we're doing great, the government is supporting us and the sponsor, and then another year the sponsor finances go down, they say, okay, Ali, Beyond Sport, this year we cannot give you guys the funding. And you already have kids, they're getting good, then the program stops, right? So for me 7 years ago, I said, okay, I need to create a brand. I need to create a brand where I can sell that brand to the regular people and use that money put into my Beyond Sport Foundation to be able to be in charge of my own destiny. I talked earlier about me, I like to be in charge of my own destiny, right? So I created Beyond Sport, which is basically Beyond Sportswear. It's almost like just like a Nike, Adidas, Under Armour, Puma. I can sell this sportswear to anybody, right? T-shirt, hoodie, backpack, shoes, socks. The money from there is going to go back into my foundation, right? I like to see myself as Beyond Sport. We are the first global African premium sportswear. Because I want to be able, kids go to Europe, they see a big store, shop. They walk in there, they see Nike, Adidas, Puma, Beyond Sport, Under Armour. And now they remember Beyond Sport. Oh, I saw the courts all over Africa. Yes, the money from that, it go back to building all this facility all over Africa.
Good. I know it's almost time to wind up. I have two quick questions. I was on your Facebook page earlier, so you know, you posted a few pictures of your family. How do they feel? You're always in Africa, and
it's funny. It's funny. This is how much you gotta start teaching kids early. My daughters, they're 6-year-old. I have twin daughters, and my son is 1.5 years. My daughter, when I'm ready to get on a plane, they said, "Daddy, where you going?" I said, "I'm going to Africa." Guess what they told me? "Oh, you're going to go see your kids," right? I'm going to go see my kids, right? They're 6 years old. Because I've been teaching them, it's not about you. It's not about you. It's about you caring about all the people around you. At the end of the day, you're going to be fine. So when I go home, they say, "Daddy, you going to see your kid?" I say, "I'm going to go see my kids." Nice. And then when I talk to them on the phone, "How's your kids doing? Are they doing good?" I said, "They're doing great." You know, so that's kind of the dynamic of my family. I want them to be global citizens. I don't want him to think I'm an American citizen. No, you're not. You're a global citizen. So whatever you can make friends and help and be an overall one person, that's kind of...
Speaking about global citizen, how many languages do you speak?
You know, it's funny. I used to speak 9 languages.
9?
But because of traveling, right? My situation has been difficult. My mother is from Congo, my father from Mali, but I lost both of them when I was about 8 years old. So I understand the struggle of an African kid, you know. If me, a kid from the slum of Congo, with no parents, can end up in the United States to play with the #1 athlete in the world, the dream is alive. The dream is alive. The dream is alive. You know, anything is possible. You just gotta stay focused and surround yourself with the right people. Trust me, it's difficult. I've been pushing this dream of building this facility for 7 years. And finally, with no money coming in. 7 years, and finally here we are.
It makes sense.
7 years, 9 languages. No
Kent, before we finish, I'll just go back to Wahiga's question and now direct it to you because he had directed it to Ali earlier on. There's the issue of such fantastic people who come and want to venture into the Kenyan market and, you know, are ready to give it their all, but then they come and meet us guys who are not cooperative, who are here to extort, to bribe, to steal. Have you assured Ali that that's not going to happen in this case?
Yes, I've assured, and we've got very good and tremendous support from the federation, that is Kenya Basketball Federation, the Rolex management, and the basketball fraternity. Because I told them, and they know, this is all about the youth. It's not about the federation, it's not about me, it's about the youth. Anything like such a project goes, the credit doesn't come to us, it goes to the basketball federation. So it's a joint venture that I need you and you need me. I need your blessings. Because even if you go to any corporate or even the government, they'll ask, is the federation aware? So we got the blessings and they're good and they're really supporting us. All
right. That answers my question. If anything happens, we'll be back and
we'll hold you to a
you said ABCD. All right then. We're coming to the end.
Time to end up. I think that's all from the sports desk, and we'll of course have another exciting interview next week, but I'll allow you to end up on behalf of the whole show.
All right, Wahiga, thank you so much for coming and bringing us this wonderful guest. We wish you all the best today, and hopefully in April we'll see you at this grand opening. That's right. And we'll be able to dribble a few balls here and there.
That I can definitely do.
Yeah? All right, then. Well, thank you very much for joining us on the Power Breakfast Show. It's been fun, it's been informative, educative, entertaining. We do hope that you've learned something new. On behalf of everyone who makes this show a success, I am Keri Wangara wishing you a fantastic day. Don't forget, Monday's football?
Monday football is on today.
It's on today? What are you talking about?
1:30. We'll be talking about what's been happening over the weekend. And we've got some special surprise guests. I don't want to let the cat out of the bag.
All right. There you have it. Big things happening today. We leave you with the beautiful sounds of Third Acapella. Bye. Have a good Monday. Take care. Be kind to one another. Be warm.